Hello! Well, today I think we'll have some quick-fire true or false questions. So, out of 20 questions, you should be able to get 10 right without even trying. Question 1. In the book of Exodus, the priests typically wore blue robes. True or false? That's true. You'll find the instruction explained in Exodus chapter 28. Question 2. Joseph ordered his men to sneakily put a cup into a sack of corn. True or false? And that's true. You'll find the story in Genesis chapter 44. Question 3. True or false? Achan kept some of the spoils after the Battle of Jericho. And that's also true. You'll find the story in Joshua chapter 7. Question 4. Potiphar's wife tried to seduce Reuben. And that's false. She tried to seduce Joseph in Genesis chapter 39. Question 5. Armoni was the son of Saul by his concubine Rizpah. And that's true. Rizpah means hot stone and can be found in 2 Samuel chapter 3. Question 6. Merab and Michal were both daughters of King Saul. And that's true, Merab being the elder in 1 Samuel chapter 14. Question 7. Peter had a vision in the book of Acts that repeated itself 3 times. And indeed, he did in Acts chapter 10. Question 8. True or false? 25 years were added to Hezekiah's life. And that's false. It's all about the details. It was 15 years that were added to his life in 2 Kings chapter 20. Question 9. Jehoash, or Joash, was 27 when he was crowned king. And that's false, because he was 7, according to 2 Kings chapter 12. Question 10. The word coffin is only used 3 times in the entire Bible. And that's false, because it's only referenced once in Genesis chapter 50. The Israelites didn't use coffins, and this use references Joseph's burial after his time with the Egyptians. Question 11. True or false? Isaac received the first recorded kiss in the Bible. And that's true. It wasn't a romantic kiss, as his son Jacob kissed his father in Genesis chapter 27. Question 12. The book of Judges talks about camels wearing necklaces. And that's true. Chains around their necks in Judges chapter 8. Question 13. Queen Athaliah tore her clothes when she was put out of power by the priest. And that's true, according to 2 Kings chapter 11. Question 14. Samson was buried with Manoah, his brother. And that's false. Samson was buried in Judges chapter 16 between Zorah and Eshtaol, and that was in the burying place of Manoah, his father. Question 15. Joseph's bones were buried at Shechem. And indeed they were, according to Joshua chapter 24. Question 16. In ancient times, Egyptians wouldn't eat with Hebrews. And indeed they would not, so that is true, according to Genesis chapter 43. Question 17. Did Pharaoh give Joseph an Egyptian name, Zaphnath-Paneah? And yes, that's true. You'll find the name in Genesis chapter 41. Question 18. Stephen's letters were often passed from church to church. And that is false. And naturally, there's no reference for it. Question 19. Abraham was 150 years old when Isaac was born. And that is false, because Abraham was only 100. In Genesis chapter 21. And question 20. Jacob once bought a campsite for 200 pieces of silver. And that is false. Jacob did name a piece of land the camp of God when he encountered angels after being with Laban, but he did not pay 200 pieces of silver for the camp. And there we are. Did you get 10 or more correct answers? If you didn't, how very unfortunate. Time to dip back into the Bible. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.